Hello, everyone, and welcome to Crestron Network Solutions Introduction. Joining me here today is Kevin Aselli.
Hi, Kyle.
Hey, Kevin. So before we really jump in, I just want to define some terminology so that we can all be on the same page. All right, so the first thing I want to define is what a computer is, right? Because most of us probably think laptops, PCs.
Sure.
But on a network, that could be tablets,
printers, you name it.
Smartphones. Yeah, exactly. So I think we got that one covered. A basic network, though, just to define that term as well, interconnected compute devices, something that consumes an IP address that all kind of needs to talk together.
Yeah, think of it as a grouping of communication devices that can all communicate with each other or some format. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great.
And we know this, and we see these in different formats, right? A computer network is something that is pretty ubiquitous, that we deal with on a daily basis when we go to the office. Even in our home lives, we have computer networks that we deal with. Being in the AV industry, like we are, we've seen the uses of networks in other formats. Like, of course, if you're Crestron, you have Cresnet network. We had the technology back, in the early mid-2000s with the digital media, which digital media actually formed its own network. So we've dealt with networks in all types of different shapes, forms, and sizes.
Yeah, I can remember having to do that with like DM devices, like tunnel through stuff,
Yep,
and it's
absolutely.
handed out an address. Yeah, so yeah, there are many networks on like a DM switch.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that DM, if we take it from that perspective of the DM switch, it is also some of the terminology that we deal with that defines the network's function, its geographical coverage, and even its own purpose. So take like personal area networks. They go all the way down to what is connected to your individual compute device.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to define different network sizes, right? Because I can remember reviewing this content, and I was looking at PAN, and I was like, why would I care for this term?
Well, yeah, that's a great question. The reason why we use these terms and why they kind of define these areas is more for, believe it or not, is more for troubleshooting. When you get into things that are scaled very large, and you have communication that might be disrupted or whatever the situation might be. I mean, it could be because it's Tuesday. It helps to identify and localize where that issue might be. And so they go to personal area networks, even from a wireless format. The common one that we all know is local area network, which is your residence, like we said, your home.
Sure.
Small offices, even schools are considered to be local area networks. These are the most common networks that we deploy today. And from there, it kind of scales up. You have wide area networks. Wide area networks actually have changed in my time in IT, if you will, from a wide area network was something that I used to connect, let's say, other campus buildings, which now they actually call that a campus area network. So it went from WAN to CAN. Mm-hmm. And actually, WAN got redefined as if it requires you to have a service to bridge those connections. Take example, Crestron. We have offices across the country, across the world. But we actually operate as it looks like we're all on the same network. And we didn't run the fiber across the country to, connect, California to New Jersey. We're actually leasing services from an agency that allows us to use that communication path. And that's what's considered a wide area network now.
Oh, yeah. We use shared drives in the training department all the time to move content around.
Absolutely. Yeah. I posted the content for you to review, right? So we do this. But that's what the concept behind why we have these definitions is, again, for a troubleshooting perspective, or at least to understand where the data is happening, where the data is going, so that there is any issues, you can manage, monitor, and troubleshoot it.
Yeah, great. So, terms are important. So
terms are definitely important.
We're defining what we're talking about very precisely. So
correct.